to another FAQ Monday. I'm your host, Fluff. If you have a question, feel free to leave them on down below in the description. Or going over to my Twitter. And, you know, we'll answer it eventually. Eventually, we'll get you answered. I'd love to hear the 3 heads, stomps, and guitars you would want if marooned on an island, and why all 3 of the heads are 5150 variants. Okay. First of all, I don't even have a 5150 in here. Now, if you would have said rectifier variants, possibly. Okay, so 3 heads. Rev F 2-channel triple rectifier. That bad boy right there. You can't see it because it's off camera. I would do a Fender Twin combo because that's just a classic. And probably, honestly, probably the Marshall Silver Jubilee. I could pretty much get anything I wanted to get done with those amplifiers. 3 stomps. Ibanez OD9 or a Maxon OD9 overdrive. A tuner, that has to count as a stomp, right? Because I got to be able to tune. And a noise gate. Those would be my 3 stomps. Guitars. My Ernie Ball Music Man baritone. I would take one of probably my Blue Sparkle Ernie Ball Music Man Stingray, and probably a PRS Tremonti. I feel like I could get the majority of what I would want to get done on a desert island with those instruments and stomps and guitars. I don't know how that desert island would have electricity in these theories, but you know, it holds up, I guess. Do you think people are posting ridiculous reverb listings just to be on your show? You know, I have seen a few, not really, generally speaking, not really. There have been a few posts that are just like so beyond ridiculous. It's like, come on, you are clearly trying to be on the show, and I'm not going to put you on the show because of that. You know, like there was someone asking like $10,000 for a Tom DeLonge reverb or a Tom DeLonge guitar. I see you, bro. I'm not going to put you on the show. But generally speaking, no, I don't think the show's that. I don't think enough people watch this channel in order to be, you know, yeah, I want to get on Fluff's channel. I don't, you know, yeah. No, I don't think so. Every once in a while, yeah, it'll happen, but generally, nah. Your vocals in the Hypochondria live video sound killer. Have you always done vocals, backing or otherwise, or is it something you started working on in recent years? Thank you very much. Honestly, a lot of people were shocked to hear me screaming on the live EP that's coming out and the few live songs that have come out from Dragged Under. I've always done, my entire life, I've always referred to myself as the oohs and ahs. In the Bad Religion liner notes back in the day, you had the oohs and ahs section, right? So I could always do the oh kind of stuff, the more background stuff, but not actually singing or screaming. And when we started the Used tour a year and a half ago, Hans couldn't cover everything. He couldn't harmonize with Tony and then also do the screaming parts. And I was like, well, I'll try it. So as we progressed in the tour, Tony and Hans were helping me learn and figure out how to exercise that muscle, which I will note is extremely difficult. And because we didn't want me to like permanently hurt myself, but there's also a weird hump that you have to go over with the all natural instrument that is your throat. You have to callus it a little bit. And it's very tough, and you kind of figure out what feels right and what feels correct for you physically. So that's taken me a long time. So by the time we got around to doing the live stream about 6 months ago, I was comfortable enough to do the screaming parts. I sound way better than I did on the Used tour, but even now today as I film this, like I sound way better than I did on a live stream. So it's just about practicing and repetition and kind of knowing what it feels like to do it. I don't know if I'm making any sense, but yeah, coming out to the Beartooth North American tour with Dragged Under and Wage War. I'll be screaming my head off. What's the best way to get started playing on some budget-friendly gear for around $1,000? Honestly, if you're If you're not gonna be playing out live, which I'm gonna assume if you're asking me this question that you're not, initially at least, I would get a $100 interface. I would get some headphones, and I would get some software. I would get, you know, try a plugin or two and go that route, and then decide what you want for real actual gear. You don't need huge half stacks or anything like that. You know, if you don't want to go the software route, I definitely recommend something like the Yamaha THR portable speakers, Positive Grid Spark, something like that. You know, that's a great place to start as far as knowing what you even like. But without having any more information than that on what your current setup is or what you even have as a guitar, budget-friendly gear, I'm gonna assume maybe you don't have a guitar. Used section on Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, ask some friends if they have some guitars. I don't know, maybe you do have a guitar and you're looking to branch out. I'm not really sure based on your question. However, $1,000 will get you a really, really long way if you're careful and calculated. When adding effects like reverb or delay, do I add them to the track I want the effect on, or should I send them through auxiliary tracks? Andy, great question. You can do either. So, for example, Phineas puts them right on the tracks on Billie Eilish's stuff, a lot of his Billie Eilish stuff. Whatever sounds best is best. I typically like aux tracks because I have more control and I can automate different amounts if the mix calls for it. Also, it's more efficient. So if I have multiple things that need reverb, I will create one instance of reverb and then send those things to the reverb. So it's less CPU intensive and I have more control over what is going and how much is being reverberated, as an example. But again, there's no right or wrong answer here. Whatever sounds best to you is really the correct answer. Fluff, I'm asking what are some good power amp options for a Helix rig? Also, would 2 power amps be a good idea or stick to solid state amps for those? Chris, great question. I've gone down this bunny hole myself. Bunny hole, rabbit hole, I don't know. I had one rack space allowance in my setup. The Synergy or Fryette 100 watt 6L6 all 2 power amp sounds incredible. It is insanely heavy and would not recommend if you're gigging. Would not recommend. The thing is like 40 pounds by itself, which is more than the rest of the rig without it. Having said that, I prefer the Matrix power amps because they're solid state, they're reliable, they're not going to sag out if you have bad power coming out of the wall at the club. Also, they're extremely loud and made for the modelers. They were originally made for the Fractal stuff. So for me, they just sound the best for the Helix stuff. There is a giant plane swooping down over my house right now. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Anyway, for more compact versions or for more compact solutions, I would definitely go for something like the Seymour Duncan power amps, the little square guys, the orange Pedal Baby. Honestly, for me, the solid state stuff is the way to go just from a reliability standpoint. I don't know what your space requirements are or anything like that. However, yeah, Duncan Power Stage, Orange Pedal Baby, Matrix, the Matrix GT line, if you can afford it. And that does it for this episode of FAQ Monday. If you have a question, feel free to leave one down below in the why did I say description? I meant comments. Or just hit me up on Twitter. We'll get you. Fluff out. If you liked the video you just watched, please consider subscribing. And if you want to further support me and what I do, consider using some of the affiliate links down below in the description of this video. Go on over to Sweetwater, buy yourself something, and help me out at the same time. It's a win-win for both of us.